All right, let's play some heads up poker. Play some heads up poker. Dom limping off 70 big blinds, which is going to be a good strategy. If you look in the heads up part of this course, against good players, you do want to have limps at a deeper stack depth. Not too many though. Here we're going to check back. We'll bluff the river, I think, with Jack 9. Very far down, we have no pair. He's not going to fold now, but it's on the flush board, so we're going to check. I mean, a heart will definitely bet the flop on the turn pretty often for him. This, we're going to go for a raise or not. We'll just call. Okay. I'm going to go with the raise. Against most players, what my plan is essentially is I'm going to have a bunch of raises at 70, 60 big blinds to get a feeling of how this guy's playing. But I'm playing against a really good heads up player here, so I'm going to try to play like somewhat correctly. Jack 6 here, we're going to go with a small bet. We don't want to get check raised too much, but we shouldn't get too many check raises against us. We have a hand which can barrel some turns. Having a jack of clubs and a six of clubs is really bad. The hands which we could maybe fold out would be like 6, 7, jack 9, jack 10, stuff like that. So we're going to check back the jack 6. Queen river card, we will go for a check. We do beat some hands. We beat 9 10s, we beat 5 6s, we beat some flush draws, but he's not going to let us win with those hands, I don't think. He checks the river, and we don't have many hands to value bet here. Like an 8 could check the flop, could bet the turn. Yeah, we don't. If he has a 4 and 8, he's never going to fold. He's not going to fold too many ace highs, so we're going to check and lose here. Oh wow, he lets us win with the 9 10. Interesting. I mean, it makes some sense. He doesn't expect me to. Okay, now so he's playing 3x and limp, which is okay. I'm gonna defend it for off. So he's playing 3x and limp. So that's interesting because I'm more trained to play against like min raise and limp or 2.5x and limp. So I'm gonna have to fold like a few more hands than I would normally fold. Even 8-4 is like kind of a borderline one. On the turn here, my hand isn't worth much versus a bet. He will start bluffing Queen X and Jack X, and he has some double delay bluffs here, like Queen 5s, Queen 6s, Jack 5s, Jack 6s that maybe check turn for whatever reason. Kind of interesting river bet. He'll have 10x for this size, and he'll have jacks and queens for this size, and he'll have 7s and 9, like 9 7 probably bets a flop, 10 7, 7 4, stuff like that. And 8 doesn't really block much. Most of those hands are going to bet earlier. I'm going to limp the 5 6 off. I think it's a kind of hand which can go into a limping range. And we'll start with min bet the flop, I think, and call and a raise with the backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. We don't want to play a huge pot, but like we don't mind playing slightly inflated pots here. Can turn pretty well. We turn a heart. We're gonna check back and bluff catch rivers. We block flushes. We don't block like backdoor spades, stuff like that. 5 is good. He will think we will check some 5s on the flop. I am going to check some 5s, betting a 5 with a backdoor straight and flush draw. I don't mind building the pot up a little bit. On the river versus this action, we are going to go for a big bet. We're going to bet king on the turn. So we're going to bet a 5. We're going to bet some bluffs like 7, 8 offsuit. So not too many thin bets. He shouldn't have much 10x. So like there's not too many thin bets I really have here. I'm not going to bet ace high. I'm going to take my showdown. Versus a raise, we're going to call this hand because we have trips and we block trips and we block full houses and we block flushes, which is going to be good for us. Some flushes are going to check raise the flop. So this hand I'd be forced to call against a player as good as Dom. A7 off, maybe some free betting at some frequency, but I think calling is also pretty good. And flop check call for sure. If an ace comes, he's going to be quite aggressive on it. On the 8, we will check again. He will bet most high equity hands on the flop, like Jack 9. On the river here, I think we want to have a hand. This is a good hand to check call because he's not going to bluff with an ace himself. So when we have a 7 with an ace, we unblock the bluffs. So I think check call and A7 is actually pretty okay. His value bets come from a 10. A lot of 8x bets a flop, like 8 9, Jack 8, etc. I'm going to bet myself on the river with a 10 very often. So I need to call either a 7 or an 8. as a bluff catcher. I think a seven with an ace is a good kicker to have. Like I'd rather call a7 than 8-6 or something like that, I think. So for that reason, I'm gonna go for a call. Yeah, the six plays. The six is a good reason. I'm not gonna stop playing a different strategy. I'm just gonna play my own strategy here. I'm not gonna just start free Xing because Dom free X's. 8 free off is gonna be a fold. Ace three, I'm gonna have as I'm gonna limp sometimes with an offsuit ace, and this time I'm gonna do it. Flop, I'm going to check back. Turn, I'm gonna bet. I can call a raise. Shouldn't have too much ace X in my perceived range, and go for a bigger sizing or a smaller sizing. I think a bigger sizing, but starts putting pressure on a deuce or like a king four or something like that. 10-5 off, we'll defend versus a min raise, but he's probably not going to min raise. Versus a free X, it's actually really close. Like 10-4 off's definitely a fold, 10-6 off's definitely a call. I think versus a free X, like 10-5 super borderline, but I'm going to go for a call. Maybe some free betting actually with this sometimes could be a thing. Like he's opening 6-3 off, right, for free X, so. And versus this, we're going to go for a fold. Big sizing for him makes sense. Some checkbacks, some bigger bets. Queen seven off, we're going to put into a limp sometimes. Actually, this one is actually a raise. I made a mistake here. This hand is a good raise because we don't mind if we get free bet. This exact one, maybe limping some queen nine sometimes. Raise folding this queen seven, queen six, queen five portion a bit more often. And on this flop, obviously just range stabbing, I think. Queen seven off versus a limp. We'll check. Check call versus any bet. 60% size, we're going to call. Jack is okay. Opens up a lot of draws, 8-9, 6-8, 10-9, queen 10, ace queen, ace 10. We do block a bunch of those, like queen 9s, queen 10s. This is overbet. I think folding's good. I think his bet size is really nice, of course. So yeah, easy fold, I think, this hand. We have a lot of hands which can continue. A7, we're going to go for raise. We'll definitely call a free bet. Definitely call free bets. I'll just be immature for a minute. 6-6x. It's a spade? No. I think we get to call with a backdoor straight draw, to be honest. At least if he goes quite small. If he goes more than half pot, we would just fold, but I don't expect to see that. Third pot is going to be pretty easy call for us. An 8, a 5, a 7, an ace, all good turn cards. He can just have king queen. We have the best hand. Against a hand like ace 10, we have okay equity. We're going to hit a high card, or we're going to hit an ace or two pairs of fours, whatever it may be. So it's okay. On the turn card, we're going to continue calling. I think these bluffs are going to come from like 9-10s and jack 10s and stuff like that, rather than necessarily like 7x kind of hands, like queen 7, king 7. Maybe it will. But we have the out of hitting our 7, which is good. Ace is obviously good. A 6 is good. We're going to have a lot of hands which call the flop. So a lot of hands like jack 10 backdoor flush draw, queen jack offsuit, king queen offsuit. So because we have so many of those, I think it's good to have this hand in my range too. I mean, I want to have some calls, and having this hand as a call seems okay. Versus a shove, we're going to see what happens. We block pocket sevens, which is good. We don't block pocket 6-7 suited, which is bad. If we had ace 7 of clubs, we could maybe consider bluff catching. But blocking sevens, blocking aces is not probably that good. I think aces most likely. I think aces most likely checks for him. I think aces most likely checks for him. So his value range is quite tight, right? Like his value range, like I have to call. I don't have many pocket pairs in my range, right? So I need to call like an ace high, which unblocks the bluffs, which are usually going to come from like 9-10s and queen jacks and queen 10s and stuff like that. And maybe like a 7-5, which would also value jam the river. I think I may call this hand. Is he value jamming ace queen, ace jack, ace king? Maybe, but I think we're gonna call. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. Huge win. Huge win. Let's go. Really nice to win this one. Really, really nice to win this one. All right, gonna end the stream now. Buzzing to win this on stream. Let's fucking go. And yeah, this was good. We won. Let's have a look how much we won. We won 19,000, which is pretty good for us. Well played to Dom, heads up. He played really well, good bluff by him. I think our hand is a good hand to call with. Like, if I do have the overpairs like eights, nines, tens, jacks, queens, kings, aces, I'm going to four bet super frequently against him. Uh, I do block some 7-6 offsuit, which he may free bet. I block the 7-5, which might get there as well. He does have all these 10-9s and 10-2s and whatever else kind of hands. Uh, he doesn't have many full houses there. The ace is really good. He never bluffs when he has an ace himself, so that's pretty good for us. Um, so yeah, I think it's a good. I think it's close, but I think the whole heads up match I was pretty happy with it. Dom is I would say has an edge on me heads up, at least like if we played a lot of hands. But yeah, for the first hands, I always enjoy playing heads up. So that was good. Gonna end the stream now. Thanks a lot, and G fucking G.